Hey, darlings. There's a tendency that humans have, which is great for ordinary times, but is exceedingly maladaptive in dangerous situations and at dangerous times. During a tense or stressful or highly elevated or otherwise activated moment, our first inclination is always to say, calm down. We are also inclined to various degrees not to let people get too grandiose with their ideas about a situation, about themselves, or about anyone else. And yes, ordinarily, when we are trying to figure out what's going on in the situation or if someone's experiencing something that is heightened, a good idea is indeed to get them to calm down so that we can figure out what's going on, get all the information, and then make a determination on what to do next. But that instinct completely falls apart when there is an active, pressing danger. You are being pursued by a lion. You are not going to tell the person running next to you to calm down unless you're trying to get them eaten. In all likelihood, as you should, you're going to, in the most aggressive and wild-eyed manner possible, tell them, let's go, let's fucking go, or we're going to get it. And let me tie this together with the other part of what I was saying, and something that I've mentioned before about people that we are close to, or friends, or family, etc., which is that we are, quite frankly, terrible at giving people in real time credit for things at which they are excellent or excel. Because our inclination is to remind ourselves, and weirdly the people, that they're just people, they're just normal, and whatever it is that they're good at doesn't make them that special. It's a sort of strange flattening of human experience. Everything is trying to reside in some stasis middle. And that's not always true, and that's not always appropriate. Where am I going with this? Things in the past which have been named and are fixed, so to speak. It is easy to speak about those things with grandiosity because they were in fact quite terrible or quite wonderful, but not so much when they're actually happening. Let me repeat something I've said before. Things that are experienced in the moment are only named in hindsight. And based on what I'm seeing now, it is very clear to me that a lot of those things in the past as they were happening were not being named with the grandiosity and the respect and the reverence which we refer to them now. There are people currently at this very moment carrying pieces of their loved ones to maybe find some place to lay them to rest if there is any safe place to do so. And while that's happening, the soldiers who have done it are looting, they are dancing, they are filming funny TikTok videos, sometimes with these people actively tied up and put in the videos as a way to further ridicule them. That's happening right now. In the future, this event will be named with some name that carries a gravitas that we respect, but we don't respect it right now. And obviously, I'm not talking about all of us because some of us understand what we're seeing and are doing our very best to fight against it. But that sort of knee-jerk instinct to be like, oh, well, it couldn't be that bad. And like, well, nobody's all bad. There must be something I'm missing. And, even though things do seem a little bit wild over there, like, there's got to be some explanation and there's got to be some way we can handle this that is calm and measured and through the proper channels. What I'm saying to you, and I want you to hear me, there is not a single motherfucking thing to be calm about right now. Whether we're just talking about the thing I'm talking about, or we're talking about the fact that there are flowers blooming in Antarctica, whether it's the fact that 1 in 39 people, maybe 38 people, has the disease that we're not supposed to talk about, even though it is absolutely raging right now. And we know for a fact, don't argue or at me, we know for a fact that each successive exposure to it, each time you get it, it makes your immune system worse. It is slowly eating you away every time you get it. And yet the baseline instinct and the baseline response from most people to all of this, apparently, is to remain calm. Ties to one of the fundamental elements of supremacy culture, which is social cohesiveness is much more important than truth. No matter where you are, who you are, what identity markers you have, that is something that has in subtle and larger ways been kind of drilled into you. But right now, not only is that instinct not serving you or any of the people who desperately, desperately need our help right now, and it will be too late if we wait too much longer, not only does that instinct not serve you, it makes you complicit. What do I propose? I propose that we step into the grandiosity of the moment. I propose that we accept our power and we accept the evil that we are seeing in front of us. because the idea that like nobody's all good or all evil, while true, is a really, really shitty thing to say when people are making choices, which means that they are in the mean, in the equation of good minus evil equals who you are as a person. In that equation, they are stacking up real, real heavy on the evil end. I can hear some centrist type people being like, that's an oversimplification and it's complicated. Yeah, what's complicated is that people have been led to the circumstances that they're in. They have been propagandized. They have been indoctrinated. They have been absolutely fucked over. Yes, but at a certain point, the lion is chasing you. You have got to decide it is time to run. It is time to fight. It is time to do something right now. You're telling me that's not the case. You're trying to get me eaten or somebody else to get eaten. I'm including all of you just vote motherfuckers in this. That's a year from now. They're all going to be dead by then. You are powerful. We are powerful. We need to step into the same kind of grandiose beliefs about ourselves, our power, and what we can do that the people who are doing the evil already have done. They believe themselves to be the ones who are writing history. They believe themselves to be the ones that have the power to determine all that happens, to shape our world. And we are holding back as if us stepping into our power is somehow going to make us look ridiculous or be ridiculous. But in the end, in the future, this will be written as essentially evil versus freedom fighters. People who actually did something when they saw all of this happen. It is a time for the fierce urgency of now. Honestly, it's low-key infuriating to me that people are still saying stuff like, oh, well, you don't want to get into big arguments with your family over politics. Like, are you kidding me? Why? Why not? We are being sorely tested and we are failing in every measurable way. Individual people and people as a collective are infinitely powerful. We are not powerless. That is a lie of this system. We are the ones who write reality. But you can't fight every fight. And this system has us so that we are tired all the time, especially if you've let yourself get that disease over and over again. Hello. But beyond fatigue and burnout, I believe strongly that a big element of this is that we don't want to appear too strident or grandiose. We don't want to appear to people as if we think that we have the power, that we are going to be the freedom fighters in history. And we are, if we do something. I'm not talking about like, some RPG game where you run in and there's like 1,000 opponents and you take them all out with like one great swing of your weapon. That's not what I'm talking. We have two options at this point. Either the history books will say that we were part of the people who bravely and against gigantic odds stood up to systems that had taken control of the world. We stood up to them, we shut them down, and we changed the world for the better. We believed in each other. We believed in our inherent power. We believed in the power of us each linking hands and forming what essentially would be an unbreakable chain through all of the different means we have. And it's either that or there will be no history books because we will all be done for. Be cringe about it. Be as cringe as you need to be because the only reason that being cringe is such a problem is for the things I mentioned earlier, is that we want everybody to remain calm. No one do too much. No one be weird. No one be out there. And who does that serve? The only thing being cool as a cucumber is going to get you right now is being chopped up and put in a salad. Right now, the scales are out of balance. We are seeing tons of extremely grandiose evil. And we're seeing some, but not enough, of the type of good that we need to fight it. And yes, those terms are an oversimplification, but at a certain point, it makes sense. Cliches become cliches for a reason. Sometimes it's the best and easiest way to say something.